Mr. Chandrasekhar, I'm speaking to you on a day that, the death toll in Wayanad is continuing to rise. As a politician from Kerala who has worked in the state as well, what are your thoughts? Here at NDTV, we are also running this campaign, Care for Kerala.
No, obviously, Maria, this is an extremely tragic and it is extremely painful just to watch, even on TV, and having over 300 lives lost and scores and hundreds of people upended from their homes, devastated, families devastated. And by the way, there are a large number of undocumented workers who work on the plantations there. It's not clear if those they have been accounted for. So I think the damage and the lives lost will only increase from here. But as the Army and the NDRF and the Navy and the Air Force has swung into action and are rescuing people, I think it is time for all of us also to look at the rehabilitation, rebuilding, giving the lives back to a lot of these people who've been very, very seriously disrupted. Their lives have been completely upended. So the focus really now at some point, yes, I know we are all focused on rescuing everybody, and as we should, but I would appeal to all your viewers to also start trying to help in rebuilding. There are many organizations that are raising monies. The good organizations should be supported so that we can start building homes for those who have lost homes. We have, giving care for those who have been injured, and livelihoods for those who have lost livelihood. So there is a lot to be done. While the news cycle may last a few days, I request all of us to stay focused till people are back on their feet and totally, able to survive on their own again.
And Mr. Chandrasekhar, you just mentioned that there are a lot of people who are perhaps still unaccounted for because they could be working in plantation areas. Do you think this tragedy could have been averted? Because there is a blame game, an unfortunate one, which is playing out between the centre and the state on whether the alerts were sounded at all. Or should we just forget about it and look at what is playing out right now? And do you think we must be more prepared?
Look, there is a saying, those who don't learn from history are destined to repeat it. I think this is extremely important while we focus on rescue and rehabilitation, that we also spend time in understanding why this tragedy happened, why this disaster happened. I'm of the view that this could have been prevented, that this could have been forecast, and it was in a lot of ways. In 2009, 2010, 2011, many expert committees have pointed to the growing vulnerability of this area, the growing risks due to afforestation and the rampant encroachment, and the absolute and unfortunately, both the UPA government at that time in Delhi and whose Congress government was in the state as well did nothing. And I know this is not the time for blame game. This is not the time necessarily to convert this very serious conversation into something that of a political blame game. But a serious discussion needs to be had on why these people had to die. I believe strongly that these lives could have been protected. These loss of lives could have been prevented if people had taken the right decisions at the right time. Those with the authority and responsibility had actually acted with the authority and responsibility that they had, and they could have prevented most of this from happening. But obviously, people will say this is not the time for blame game. And I certainly am not the kind of person who wants to do political point scoring on this. I think we have to certainly make sure that we don't allow a repeat of this ever again in Kerala or indeed anywhere in the Western Ghats. And therefore, it is an absolute important for us to understand what successive governments in the state did not do and should have done, and what the central government, when faced with these expert committee reports, when they had their state government of the same party, did not do what they had to do.